Hello and welcome to my sewing and DIY channel, CaitMakes. As you saw from the thumbnail, today I'm going to show you everything that I made in my second year of sewing. So I first picked up a sewing machine 2 summers ago. Every July is my sewing anniversary, so I like to look back on everything that I made and share it with you guys. If you haven't seen everything that I made in my first year of sewing, check that video out here. In this video, I will show you each of these items and then also clips of me wearing them so that you can see how they look on and not just on a hanger. And I'll tell you a little bit about each piece, so like which pattern I used, fabric if it's interesting. Yeah, just some basic info in case you want to remake it yourself. I feel like I learned so much this year and I'm super excited to show you all of my makes. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So I did a little reorganizing here quickly. I am going to show you these by category. So I'm going to start with tops and then do skirts and then dresses. Dresses are my favorite. There are the most of those down there and I'm very excited to get to them, but let's start with tops. Before I get into these, know that I will have absolutely everything linked in the description of this video. So most of these items have a corresponding YouTube video that I have created, so I'll have that linked there, and then I'll also have the pattern that I used if I used a pattern. If you have any questions as I go, please comment them down below. I love to chat with you guys and I will help as much as possible down there. I don't want this video to be too crazy long, so I'm going to try not to go into too much detail just so that we can get through all of these items and still have it be a watchable video. So first up is this corset. This is my most recent make. There is a video for this that I'll have linked. This is the blue corset pattern by Melina from Etsy. It was under $10. Very straightforward. It's only one cut on your fabric. I would say that this is about as beginner friendly as a corset could be. This is intermediate to beginner level. I'm very proud of this one. I'm so excited to wear it a ton in all different seasons. I think I'm going to get so much use out of it. I love all the little details. I decided to do some detail stitching here on the straps, and it's probably my favorite little detail that I added. I also like the idea of like switching out the ribbons sometimes depending on how I want to style it, but I thought this little light purple was kind of fun. There's some purple tones in here. So that is the first one. On to the next. Next up, we have a self-drafted top. This doesn't look like a lot on the hanger, but it is just a little tube top that I self-drafted. The video that I have on this is actually a tutorial, so if you want to learn how to do this too, I explain how I did it in that. Check it out. This is extremely beginner friendly, about as simple as you can go when you're sewing. And I only created it a couple weeks ago and I've already worn it so much. It's such a fun layering piece, and right now it is the absolute height of summer in the desert, so it's a great one to just slip on and be nice and cool. And it goes with quite a few of my other makes. As you'll see, brown is a theme. This fabric you will see multiple times on this rack because I bought a set of queen bed sheets and created many things out of that. I'm actually still going through it, so I'm kind of amazed at how far it has stretched. But yeah, super beginner friendly. Check out my video if you want to learn how to make it yourself. Next up is my most experimental piece on this rack. This is a blouse pattern by Puff and Pencil. This is also around when I first ordered some tags for my clothes. So this little tag is in most of my items now, and that just makes it so fun to me. I love that there's something on there that says that I made it. This was a scrap buster project. I had a very small amount of this black cotton and this floral fabric, and I just wanted to see what I could make out of it and thought that this would be a fun little experiment. I've gotten quite a bit of wear out of this actually, but I definitely want to remake it in some more neutral tones. I do think I have somewhat of a color palette that I like to stick to. This doesn't quite fall in that, but it's still a lot of fun. I made it for Valentine's Day, and that just made me feel like I was like in elementary school making a little Valentine's Day project, which is just a fun feeling. I added rickrack for the first time, which I really want to use some more in other projects. But yeah, this was just a really fun, like, creative exercise, I would say, of just kind of branching out and trying things, and it was fun. This pattern was great. I would say beginner to intermediate again. My only regret with this is that because it's this open tie front, I don't wear a bra with it, and this fabric is just a little bit scratchy for that. So I think when I make it again, and if you make it, I would choose something very soft and cozy, and it's not lined, so it's whatever you're using as your outer fabric. So that's this one. Next up is something that I made last Christmas. This is the pattern that I used for it. I made a few of these as gifts. They work wonderful for that because the sizing does not matter. Obviously, it's just supposed to be big and cozy, but still something kind of special and easy to personalize. So I really like this one. It's just nice to like throw over things. I made it in this very soft fabric that basically makes it feel like a blanket. Also made it in a like pretty blue silk for my mother-in-law, so you can make it a little fancier as something to like throw over a dress, which is pretty. I went the cozier route for mine, but extremely beginner friendly, super simple, super quick, great last minute gift, which was the video that I made on it. Yeah, so on to the next. And then last in the top section are the turtlenecks that I have made. So I created 2 turtlenecks from the Kiana Bonolo turtleneck pattern. Definitely recommend that one. It was super easy. I created it in this very fun checkered fabric and then one in this black ribbed knit. I definitely got a lot of use out of both of these in the colder months. I would say that the black one got the most amount of use because I could wear it longer. This one I did double layered because the fabric was a bit see-through, so it is very cozy and very warm. This one is just a 100% cotton rib knit, so I can still wear it for a lot of the year. I wore it like all the way up to spring. Obviously not in the summer, but pretty much every other season I can still wear this. A turtleneck is an awesome beginner project. Learning how to do an armhole is important, and a turtleneck like this in a stretch fabric is really forgiving and a good one to learn on. These are a couple of my most worn pieces. The basics that I have sewn myself, I get so much wear out of, and I need to make more in that genre, but these ones have gotten a ton of wear. Definitely recommend this pattern. Moving on to the next. So those are all the tops that I created in my second year of sewing. I would say the most complicated, or at least most time consuming, was the corset, and that the easiest one to make was this tube tops. So now on to the skirts. I have 2 of the same skirts, which get worn with these 2 turtlenecks a lot. I have these 2 little mini skirts. This is from the Bridgerton Dress pattern. It's from Etsy. I created one in black and one in brown because those are my comfort colors. That's what I go back to, black or brown, a lot. These have gotten a ton of wear. The black one has gotten more wear, mostly because I did the brown in a suiting fabric actually. So it's a bit stiffer. Wrinkles a little bit more easily, and this one was a thrift flip. Really lightweight blend of some kind, and it's just a little bit more comfortable. This one I would say feels more formal. It's out of a suiting fabric, but I do really like it for a slightly dressier take on it. But this one I wore constantly with tights especially, and with all my different tops. So definitely recommend this one for an easy project, an easy wardrobe staple that you'll get a ton of wear out of. Love these. Next up is another one of my more recent makes. This is also out of the Queen bed sheets. This is a completely self-drafted skirt. I have a tutorial for this skirt in the same video as this tube top where I teach you exactly how I did this. It's really simple, super beginner friendly, and I love the result. I think it's so fun. I was inspired by a Max Mara skirt that was like $1,000 or something. This cost me next to nothing and looks extremely similar. Like the top, I only have had it for a couple weeks, but I've been wearing it so much already. Such a great basic piece that you can style so many different ways, that you can make more casual or more formal really easily and get a lot of wear out of. So definitely recommend this one. Watch my tutorial if you haven't. I'll teach you how to do it. It's super easy. Yeah, next one. This skirt does not do itself justice just on the hanger, but oh my goodness, I am so happy with this skirt. I duplicated a skirt that I've had for over 10 years that is my favorite skirt. It's my husband's favorite skirt of mine that, that I always wear. And I've worn it on many date nights, and it has all kinds of sentimental value to me. And I really wanted a second one. The other one is in a black and white polka dot fabric, and that's fun for sometimes, but like a nice solid color is definitely more my vibe these days. And this one is just out of a silky blend. It isn't a satin. I got this from Joann's in their silkies section. So it has the elastic back, and it's just super comfortable to wear, and I think it's so flattering and fun, just like the perfect date night skirt. I have a goal to create a pattern out of this one for you guys, and for it to potentially be my first pattern, since it's so sentimental to me and since I just believe it's a really beautiful skirt. I have started taking pattern making classes, and stay tuned. this will hopefully be available to you someday. Let me know down below if you would wear this skirt or if you would like to buy this pattern. I could use all the encouragement possible, so put it down below, please, oh please, if you would like me to follow through on this goal. On the note of my goal to learn how to make digital patterns this year, I want to share with you a very cool free course that I stumbled upon by Confident Pattern Making, who is also the sponsor of this week's video. It's definitely a skill that I think would be so useful just as someone who sews their own clothes, but also as a potential business venture. But as usual, when learning something new, the beginning stage is the most intimidating, and I just was not sure where to start even. So naturally I did some Googling and very luckily stumbled upon this free course. I think it's awesome, which is why I reached out to them, because I thought you guys would really like it as well. I found it to be an incredible jumping off point. It taught me a lot of the things that I was worried about that I thought would be very complicated, and it made them very simple to learn. All you do is sign up through your email address and you get sent a link to a course. This course does require you to have Adobe Illustrator. I really needed a beginner friendly tutorial, and that's definitely what I found in this one. Victoria is the small business owner behind this, and she is the one explaining how to do all of this in the videos. Basically, it teaches you in a way that you do not have to have any previous experience in Adobe Illustrator. It really just started from scratch. It shows you how to use the basic tools of Adobe, like the pen tool and all the things you need to actually draw the pattern and how to measure. One of the biggest things that was overwhelming me about the thought of making these was how to make everything connect perfectly. And there is an entire section of this where you're taught how to do tiling templates, which I now know is how you create a pattern that can be printable and that easily goes together so that people can cut it out. It really just made it all seem way less overwhelming to me, and I thought it was such a well done course. I know I did it all in one sitting. I really want to take some more courses and just continue to grow my knowledge, but I do feel like just from this free course, I can give it a go. This gave me enough information where I could transfer what I learned from the pattern that I self-drafted into a digital pattern. Now, I think I definitely need to learn a lot more before I can make a pattern that is like sellable and that meets all the requirements that like a professional pattern needs. But as far as like personal use and just learning the basics, this course totally gets you there. So I'll have the link down below for you, but mainly I just wanted to share this with you guys because I loved it and I thought you guys would too. It's a small business and it's free, and yeah, there's just really no downside. So if you are interested at all in learning to do digital patterns, definitely check out this course. If you guys have any other great resources that you found, please put them in the comments below. Let's all help each other out. And thank you again to Confident Pattern Making for supporting this channel. So let's get back into where I left off on my second year of sewing makes. The next one I did in the same video. This was another one of my like most worn skirts that I just didn't like the fabric it was in anymore. This is just a 4-way stretch remnant fabric that I got from Joann's for super cheap. I just really loved the color of it. And yeah, I've gotten quite a bit of use out of this one as well. It can be worn casually, and I've worn it quite a few times just as an athletic skirt as well with shorts underneath, and I really love it for that. I dance as well and love dancing in this one. And then that same video, I've just realized I also duplicated a pair of shorts, and I love these, and I think that they're in the laundry, and that's why I didn't notice they weren't right here, but I'll put in the clips. These are super fun and another great basic, another thing I'm considering making a pattern out of. Again, let me know down below if you would be interested in these. They have like that kind of butterfly sleeve look, but as shorts. So yeah, those have been getting a bunch of wear as well. Just why they're in the laundry. So those are all of the skirts. I would qualify every single one of these as super easy, beginner friendly. If you're looking for a beginner project, start with the skirt. It can't get much simpler, and they're super fun to wear. So very happy with all of those. Those ones are all more like wardrobe staples, and I've been able to wear over and over again, which has been really nice. Next up is a dress that you may not have seen even if you follow my channel. I didn't create a video on this one because I was pattern testing it. I love this. This is by Thrills and Stitches, who is another very talented YouTuber. I really love her channel and I really love this pattern, so definitely recommend. I would say this is more of an intermediate and above skill level. I love this shape. I believe House of CB is like the dress that everyone has been wearing and like replicating that has this similar cut and similar line, and I was so happy that she came out with this one. This one has a couple of really special details, I think. I love the high neckline, and this has like the gathered underbust. I think it has a real like 1920s kind of vibe. The way that I created mine, I think, gives tennis skirt. I would really like to create it again in a fancier fabric. This is just out of cotton. As I said, I was just pattern testing, so I was just kind of using what was economical for testing out a pattern. But I love it. I definitely want to make it again. And I think that the different cuts of fabric are so fun to play with. You can do color blocking like I did, or like I've seen mostly do it all in one. It's still really beautiful and you can still see this fun detail. So yeah, that's this one. Love. Next up is definitely one of my favorite things I've ever made. I love, love, love this dress. You're not gonna be able to see it very well with me holding it up. This is such a beautiful pattern to me. This is by Mal Patterns, who actually sponsored the video where I created this one. I have a discount code for them that is still live. I'll link it down below. There are just so many beautiful details in this dress. I absolutely love the neckline. I love the puff sleeves. I love the gathered finish of the sleeves at the bottom. It has some corset details. There's boning throughout. It has that beautiful drop waist feature. I would love to create it again. I will say that this was probably the most advanced dress that I have made. I think it's rated advanced. I wouldn't rate myself that way. I would say I'm more like intermediate level. I've only been sewing for 2 years, but it was totally accomplishable, but it took some time. There's a lot of beautiful finishing details. You create this and you've created like a designer dress, in my opinion. It is just very high quality and I love it. I used a velvet fabric and interfaced everything except for the sleeves. Definitely proud of this one. This was like a stretch on my skill level and I felt like it turned out just as I hoped it would, so yay. Next up is, it's funny that I hung them up this way because next up is probably the easiest dress I have ever done because this is just a thrift flip. This was just a like nightgown, I assume. All I did for this one was take it in on the side and back seams and then replaced the straps with these cute little ribbons so that they could be tie straps. And it made a huge difference from how it started. I just thought that this fabric was really beautiful and I couldn't say no to it. So I'm really glad that I thrifted it and turned it into something wearable. I've worn it quite a few times, both just like as a summer dress and then also like layered up with tights and a jacket and stuff. So let this be a reminder that thrifting gets way, way better once you learn to sew because anything you find has tons of possibilities. Next up is my Sabrina Carpenter dress. I love Sabrina Carpenter and like most of the world, I listened to the song Espresso 8,000 times this year. And that led me to looking at the photo of her in this denim dress over and over again and I just loved it. I thought it was such a simple design but that it looked really impactful and fun and timeless and I just couldn't resist. So this is another Kiana Bonolo pattern. I think it's just called the mini dress pattern and it was great. Her patterns are super beginner friendly. Instructions are great. She always has a video as well. Definitely recommend and I love her channel also. But yeah, I love this one. I've worn this a bunch too. I love to wear it with like white sneakers. I wore it on like a Vegas trip recently. It's a little on the spicier side. I'm not wearing this to the grocery store exactly, but it makes me feel great. Definitely recommend this pattern. That pattern in general, I think you can do a lot of fun things with. So definitely try it out. Next up is this dress, which was my take on a Bridgerton dress. I had so much fun creating this video. If you would like to watch a very silly intro where I had a lot of creative fun, check that one out. This was really just kind of a passion project. I am probably not going to get a lot of wear out of this dress. I haven't worn it since I made it, but it brings me joy. It is also a thrift flip. These were curtains. And yeah, I think it's a great like Bridgerton slash Selkie look. And I definitely will find an occasion to wear this at some point. Have I found it yet? No. But I'm still happy I made it. And the lining fabric I used was like a thrifted silk bed sheet too. So yeah, it was very economical to make this kind of frivolous dress. But yeah, it was a fun one. Sometimes you just need to pretend you're a Bridgerton character, so it's great for that. Oh, also, if you want your own Bridgerton dress, this is a completely free pattern. This was off of Mood Fabrics, and it's called the Bridgerton Dress, and it was great. Beginner friendly and free. Can't beat free. So I see no bad decisions being made by making yourself Bridgerton dress. Just find yourself some thrifted fabric so there is zero guilt. Next up, you guessed it, yet another thing made out of the brown queen bedsheet set. This is a Lydia Naomi dress. I notoriously love her dresses. I'll get to the one I'm wearing, but it also is a Lydia Naomi one. Love her channel, I love her patterns. This particular dress is probably one of my biggest Oopsies. Her sizing usually works perfectly for me, so I'm not sure if I just assumed I knew which size I was and it was maybe different for this one. Whatever happened, this is a bit too small for me. This is a wrap dress. It was something I was hoping I could wear all the time. It's still wearable, but it's definitely not comfortable. I very sadly did not notice until the end. So I would like to try this one again. I need to size up or just double check that I'm choosing the right size. And then also, this one is not lined. And I just have become a bit of a stickler where I really would prefer everything to be really beautiful and lined on the inside. So there might be a hack to do that, otherwise I need to just figure out how to do it on my own. But I am just starting to veer away from things that don't have lining. I need to just start adding it to everything. That's probably just because I have more experience now. And so I don't mind that it's, you know, an extra step. I'd rather the end product be really beautiful. Whereas when you're starting out, I think you're just really happy to have made something wearable. But now I'm to the point where I really want the inside to be pristine, and it just feels nicer and fancier when it's lined. So this one is probably my biggest fail of my second year of sewing experience. But it's not terrible. It's still wearable. I have worn it around the house and stuff, but just doesn't quite cut what I wanted it to be. This one is a Brandy Joan and McCall's pattern. I have an entire video where I review this dress, so feel free to check it out for a more in-depth review of what I think about this pattern. I had to add this second tie for it to work for me. I made this one last fall, so close to the beginning of my second year, and I think that even now, if I made it again, I would probably do better than I did on this one. I would put this one on the intermediate skill level, not for beginners. Because it's such a plunging neckline, the bust fit is super important, and it does not fit me perfectly. I have still been wearing it a ton. I really, really like it. Do I think it looks perfect when I wear it? No, I'm not fully happy with the way that the bust cups sit, but I am happy with it overall, and I love this fabric. This is a really beautiful 100% cotton eyelet fabric from Joann's. Still would recommend this pattern. I think it's super special and unique. There are a lot of sewing patterns that are just kind of the same thing over and over again, and I think that this one was a really unique idea, so recommend it for that alone. This is another one of my favorites. This is my Pride and Prejudice inspired dress. This is so comfortable and has gotten a ton of wear. I think it's the perfect springtime dress. I wore it like over and over and over again in the spring and will be doing so again. This was mostly self-drafted. I used my favorite bodice pattern from the Isola dress, which is by Patterns by Pattern Co. And yeah, the rest of it was really self-drafted process. So there are pockets in this skirt. I did the fun tie wrists, I did the puff sleeves, and added the waistband, and just had so much fun creating this one. This is really just a very me dress. I really want to do more projects like this, where maybe I take inspiration for something, but I still just kind of go with my creative whims. It usually ends up more unique and more me, and I just love it even more. For the lining, I used one of my old bed sheets, so it's super soft inside, and then this cotton blend that I use is really comfortable as well. So this is what I would consider to be like my princess off-duty dress. Like, you can just wear this every day and have it be your like cartoon outfit, and you could do pretty much anything in it but still feel like a princess. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. But yeah, really like this one. My recommendation to you is to experiment and to mix match your patterns and to create something new and your own, and you'll have a wonderful time. At least that is my experience. Okay, and now we have this one, which is nice and heavy. This is my Rose Cafe dress, which is 90% perfection. I'm obsessed with this fabric. I'm obsessed with the lace trim that I did on the straps and on the bust. I love the blue ribbon that I used to do the corseted back. I love the gathered bottom that I did. It's just a magical, magical dress. Its only flaw, sadly, is that the bust cups are not perfect. I made a mistake on the bust cups, which is the part that I was most nervous about, so I don't know how I did that. My viewers actually were the ones who helped me figure out like what went wrong, because the bust cups just don't fit great on their own. And yeah, I just did one of the bits of instruction a bit wrong, so take your time when you create this dress. I was intimidated by it, and I think that's what happened to me. I don't usually make those kind of mistakes, and I did on this one, on the part that I was most nervous about. So remember to take a deep breath while sewing. But it's still wearable. In the reveal photos, I hadn't figured this out yet, but I have since figured out that if I put, I have some removable cups that I can put in, and then it at least visibly fixes the fit issue. So still an incredibly special piece to me. I wish that it was perfect, but that is what being a new sewer is all about. I am still learning and trying my best and trying to improve, and sometimes these things happen and we learn from them. Never get discouraged when things go wrong. Happens all the time, and there's often a fix. So yeah, that is this one, and now we only have one more dress and then we are done. Actually, lies, before we get to that one, I forgot that what I'm wearing is also part of what I made in my second year of sewing. This is one that I made during Christmas time last year, and it's definitely in the top 5 for the most worn pieces that I have made. This is the pattern by Lydia Naomi. This is the Bubble Frock pattern, which is one of my absolute favorites of hers. You can make it in a million ways and it's always cute. I've seen so many renditions of it and I love them all, and I want to create more myself. I have worn it formally, I've worn it around the house, I've worn it to absolutely anything and everything because it's so comfortable and feels so fancy and nice, and yet like I'm wearing a blanket because I made it out of this quilted velvet that I got from Joann's. And I could not recommend this fabric more. I think you should just create anything out of it because it feels amazing. I have very deep pockets that I put in here, which are also always a great idea. 10 out of 10 recommend on this one. I will say that I think the straps have stretched out a little bit. I didn't interface them, so I think that's something that I will fix and just take them up a little bit. But besides that, it is perfect for me. You should have one of these also. They're great. Now the final thing that I made in my second year of sewing, and I think my favorite dress. Here is my final piece. I saved it for last because I love it the best. I made myself this dress as my birthday dress last year. Check that video out if you would like. This dress is another one where it just feels very me, and I feel wonderful when I wear it. I made it out of a linen suiting fabric. It's a heftier fabric. It feels very substantial and nice. I hacked the Isola dress pattern again. It's my favorite basic bodice pattern. I just used that part, and then I did a gathered skirt, and then I added boning and corset details on the back and these very fun bow tie straps. It has pockets, of course. Like, it's just the perfect dress to me. Again, you can wear it more casually or more formally. Obviously, not the most casual, but I wore it walking around New York all day long and was super comfortable and felt wonderful in it. I've worn it with sneakers, I've worn it with heels. It goes either way. And I put it in the same category as the other one of being like a princess off-duty dress, where you feel like a princess, but you're still wearing something that you can wear all day and be really comfortable in. And to me, that is the epitome of what I would like everything to be. We can maybe put this one in that as well. I just like the idea of wearing a princess dress every day of my life. So I'm trying to find a balance of a fancy dress that's still comfortable. So yeah, this is the last on our list. That is everything that I made in my second year of sewing. If you liked this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. That makes a huge difference to me, and I would love to have you around here more often. I post a new video every Tuesday, and I would love for you to be here for it. If you saw something that inspired you and that you want to make, comment down below, let me know. I'd love to chat with you guys down there. I did the same review for my first year, and you guys seem to really enjoy it, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one as well. It's really fun for me, of course, to look back on my year, but I hope that it also inspires you either to sew and create things, maybe a pattern that you liked, or if you're a beginner, to let you know that you very quickly build enough skill to create an entire wardrobe, an entire rack of clothes that you will love and wear all the time. Or I hope it inspires you to just take a risk and try something new. I've said many times on this channel, I had no idea what I was doing, and I just decided I was going to figure it out and got on YouTube and watched some videos. And I figured it out, and now I sew all the time and I absolutely love it. So you can apply that logic to absolutely any hobby or any goal that you have. Just take a chance, just go for it. Find a new hobby that brings you joy and try something new, because you might end up loving it and becoming totally obsessed and end up with a whole rack of clothes or something similar. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I have only been on YouTube for about a year, roughly the same time span as these items. So thank you so much for anyone who has come along with me on that journey. And thank you so much to anyone who is watching this video. Again, please like, comment, subscribe, all those things to help keep this channel going so that I can create more videos for you guys, because I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are having a great time too. So thank you again, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.